Use a proper recording software like OBS. This software is completely free and very powerful. For most of the YouTube creators out there, this is one of the top choices to use for recording. Record your audio on separate channels. If you're recording your voice and gameplay on the same channel, then you only get one shot at making it perfectly balanced. However, if you record your vocals separately, you can easily adjust and fine-tune your audio later. I will leave a link in the top of the screen that shows you how you can set this up in OBS. Here's a quick explanation about bitrate. Bitrate is essentially the amount of information you are allowing to be used to record the video. If there's a lot of movement and everything is changing quickly, you need to allow more information through. Therefore, you would need to have a higher bitrate for this. If things are moving slowly or most of the screen is static, then you would need to have less information and therefore a lower bitrate. If your video looks grainy, then you probably have the wrong bitrate. Try increasing the bitrate to at least what YouTube recommends, if not higher. As you grow your channel, don't try to outsmart YouTube. You may be learning about different techniques that claim to grow your channel. However, a lot of these will do absolutely nothing, or worse, they will kill your channel. One strategy that has gone around is a sub for sub strategy. This is where one creator subscribes to another creator and in return asks for that creator to subscribe to them. This is going to kill your channel and get you banned from YouTube. YouTube is a long game, so prepare to put out lots of content over a long period of time with not a whole lot of views. It will pay off eventually, but it will take some time and some work. If you have an NVIDIA graphics card, go ahead and change the encoder to the new NVIDIA encoder. You can always do this with the AMD graphics card as well. However, I have heard that it doesn't work as well as the NVIDIA. I don't have first-hand experience on that, but that's what I've heard. But if you have a graphics card, a very powerful graphics card, it's worth trying to put the encoding on the graphics card versus on your CPU. When thinking of video ideas, think of it from your viewer's perspective. What problems can you solve for them? Can you guide them through a game? Or maybe you can provide them with tips about a game in a similar fashion to what I'm doing in this video here. You have to dive deep into your audience and really understand where they're coming from, what they need, and then you can start to grow that channel. If you're using OBS and your recording is slow and full of stutters, consider lowering your OBS recording preset to performance rather than quality. If you're using the X264 encoder instead, lower the CPU usage preset to very fast or ultra fast. The faster it is set, the less power you need to run it, but the lower the quality is. For a very powerful but free editing software, try out DaVinci Resolve. This is a completely free software and contains no watermarks. Other than a few high-end features, you're really not going to notice much of a difference between this version and the studio version. The biggest difference with this version and the studio version that I found was the fact that the studio version has GPU support. So you're going to have a smoother timeline if you're working with 4K footage or high resolution footage. Working with 1080p, the DaVinci Resolve free version is perfect. Consider using MKV format instead of MP4. The reason I say this is because MKV will allow you to open that file even if your computer crashes midway through a recording, whereas MP4, once it crashes, that file is done. The downside to MKV is that you have to change that format to MP4 afterwards in order to use it in an editing software. If you do use MKV, you can easily change it to an MP4 with the OBX remux feature. You can even set the remux to happen immediately after a recording is done, that way you don't have to mess around with it later. But keep in mind this will duplicate that video every time you record a new video, so you're going to have to go back and delete some of the videos if you want to save some space. If you're just starting out and trying to get traction as a new gaming video creator, try to stick with one niche that you know lots about, or even one game. If you don't know a lot about it, but you really want to dive into it, then dive completely into it and learn everything there is to know about that game. You want to be the expert on that game, you want to be the guru. If one niche or game is not your style, then consider creating videos in groups. Create a group of 10 or more videos that all relate to one game, then slowly shift into a new game as you get bored of that game. If you do this, I would still probably keep games in a similar niche, or at least have a similar style or strategy that you're using. Consistency really is key in this. So for example, maybe you just want to jump all over the place with games, but maybe keep a strategy like tips and tricks that you can keep consistent throughout your whole channel. That way people will know that they want to come for tips and tricks, they go to your videos. When recording video content, most people assume that audio and video is recorded at the same time. This is not true all the time. In fact, many creators do not do this. There are 3 main methods you could try. Record the gameplay footage first. You can then chop up the video and add the voice in later. You could create a voiceover like I'm doing in this video and then match the footage later. Or you can try to record your video and voice at the same time. Each one works great for different scenarios, but realize you don't have to do it all at once if it's not going to work for your video. Don't create a huge intro into your video. You have to remember that your audience is going to get bored and they really don't care that much about your logo. They want to enjoy your content, but could care less if you can make a logo spin around 3 times and then explode. If you're going to make an intro, make it quick. Don't waste people's time and they'll appreciate it and they'll want to watch your video. If you are new to creating gaming videos and need some help, send me an email or reach out to me. You can contact me by going into the About Me page on my YouTube channel. If you are open to having your channel reviewed publicly, I would love to do a channel review where I pick apart what I would do to improve it. Make sure if you enjoy this type of content, you hit that thumbs up. That way I know that this is the type of video that you want to see more of. Keep gaming, and I will see you in the next video.